Friends, thank you for joining me for yet another video here on the channel. Today, I am bringing you the 2023 defensive target board for the Fighting Irish. D-line, linebackers, corners, safeties. There are a few athletes on here that I want to note, but this is pretty loaded. I want to make that clear. This is a really, really good year. I had to leave off some guys like Jaden Wayne, 5-star from the state of Washington. 5-star Samuel M. Pemba from Missouri are not on this list. Notre Dame is still very involved there, but just not on this list at this current moment. I'll start with Shandavion Bailey, though, top left. He was at Notre Dame June 1st with Drake Bowen, maybe June 2nd. Took some pictures with Marcus Freeman, with his parents, with his brother around campus. He was the first visitor on campus once the dead period concluded on June 1st, and I think Notre Dame leads here. Oklahoma's another school to know. He's a Missouri kid. Oklahoma recruits the state of Missouri very, very well. Michigan has offered some other big-time Power 5 schools, but I think Bailey's leading Notre Dame right now. Academics a huge factor, as they normally are with these Notre Dame targets, but Bailey's definitely got to know. Reminds me a lot of Tyson Ford. Keon Keeley from down south in Tampa, Florida. Keon Keeley just visited Notre Dame. If I had to pick, I would put it in. I do think he ends up in the blue and gold sooner rather than later. I could see him committing sometime in the next week or so. Florida, UNC, two more to know here. Florida is, of course, the in-state school, good academic school. Same with UNC, good academic school, powerhouse football team. But he really, really enjoyed himself at Notre Dame. His parents loved it. I think Keeley's going to end up in South Bend. Kennedy McDowell is not as high as a target as Shandavion Bailey and Keon Keeley at this current moment. Only has 5 offers. FIU, Appalachian State, Kansas, and Arizona State along with Notre Dame. But this is a guy to monitor. If he has a big-time junior season this fall, I could see him shooting up their board and getting some more offers. But right now, he's more of a low-key target. Jason Moore, 6.0 Rivals ranking, pretty much on the cusp of a 5-star ranking. Not sure if he's taking any visits this summer. I haven't seen him anywhere, haven't heard about anything, but he's a huge target for Mike Elston, brother of Villanova shooting guard Justin Moore. Goes to DeMatha Catholic, very well-known school in the Notre Dame community. Has some big-time offers, Michigan, Bama, LSU, and, of course, Notre Dame. So Jason Moore, huge target for Mike Elston and Marcus Freeman. Same with Brennan Vernon from Ohio, Mentor, Ohio. I think Ohio State leads, and I do think he ends up at Ohio State, but Notre Dame is definitely making its push. Bama has offered Michigan as well here. He loves Marcus Freeman, loves Mike Elston, and if those two really, really work hard, I could see them possibly landing Vernon, but it's going to be tough taking a kid from Ohio and pulling them out of Ohio State. Tommy Reese and Brian Kelly did it with good old Lorenzo Styles, who's loving himself in South Bend, but Vernon might be even harder. Kendrick Gilbert, D-line from Indianapolis. This another not huge target. Steve Oatlong of 247 Sports did put in a crystal ball for him to end up in South Bend, but it's really, really early. He got his offer at the Irish Evasion Camp on June 6th. We'll see if he's a big-time junior year. Just like I said with McDowell, he could maybe move up the board, but right now he's more of a lower priority guy. I think they land him if they push. We'll go to the linebackers, and this is a special group of linebackers, just like 2022. You have Bowen, who I think you lead for, Edwards, who I think it's a USC Notre Dame battle, Sonny Styles, massive target. Might be my favorite player in the class. In my opinion, I actually think he's a top 7, 8, 9 player in the country. Troy Ford, solid player. Tamir Robinson, really, really like him. And Jaden Osbury is a stud as well. So these are some big-time players. I'll start with Bowen, though. Bowen is from Indiana, Maryville, Indiana. Notre Dame is offered along with Clemson, LSU, Michigan. Has pretty much been around the country on some tours. But when it is said and done, Notre Dame's going to land him. He's grown up a Notre Dame fan. Did say he also grew up a Texas fan, which was a little weird, but he does have a Texas offer. But I shouldn't call it weird because he's going to end up in the blue and gold. I'm so confident on this. I would have a pick in at pretty high priority. Marcus Freeman talks to him and his family pretty frequently, and he has the love back. He will be on Notre Dame's campus, I believe, one more time before the dead period ends, just to check it out for himself another time. And I could see him committing to Notre Dame before the end of his junior season or the beginning of 2022. I really like Bo and end up at Notre Dame sooner rather than later. Trey Edwards, another guy to know. Top 55 player in the country via Rivals. Is from Southern California. If you can see there, pretty much on Tijuana, which is in Mexico. A little funny. You see Mater Dei and you think, oh, LA. No, Mater Dei Catholic. Different school, guys. But super talented guy. Has fallen a little bit in the rankings, I will say. He was ranked really, really high in the initial 247 rankings for the 2023 guys, but very talented player nevertheless. USC is a school to know here. Oregon as well. They've both offered. This will be a long way to go in his recruitment. I think he commits later rather than sooner, and hasn't really taken any visits. I don't think he's visited any school since the dead period opened back up. We'll see if that changes. It definitely very well may change, but I definitely expect him to get out to South Bend maybe at some point this fall or winter. We shall see, maybe for junior day. Sonny Styles, a.k.a. Alex Styles. This is probably the biggest target in the 2023 class. Like I said, he's a top 7, 8, 9 guy for me. Every school is offered pretty much, with the lone exception of Bama, I think. Ohio State is really, really high, and it's probably Notre Dame's top contender, maybe LSU, Florida, Clemson as well. But Sonny Styles is a special player. He can play safety. He can play linebacker. He'll most likely play rover at Notre Dame. He can play outside linebacker. Honestly, probably could play edge at the next level. But Sonny Styles, this dude is a freak. If Notre Dame were to land him, that would probably be the best player they've picked up since maybe Blake Fisher. Maybe you go back to Jalen Smith. This is one special player, and Sonny Styles is a generational type talent. I am huge on Sonny Styles, very high on Sonny Styles. Jaden Osbury's older brother, Austin Osbury, still uncommitted. Both of them are, but I do have my picks in for LSU for both of them. Their father played for the Tigers back in the 90s. He currently works there in educational, maybe something, I don't know, something at the school. They live down in Baton Rouge. Goes to a very good school, the University Laboratory School. Osbury's talented. He went up to Notre Dame to get the offer. He got it during the Irish invasion camp. His brother landed an offer as well. If for whatever reason LSU doesn't work out, I could see them very well considering Notre Dame and ending up at Notre Dame, but it's going to be hard. When your father works at LSU, LSU's the favorite school. I see no reason why they don't land him, but Notre Dame is definitely in contention. He's listening. Both of them are still uncommitted, so we shall see. But Osbury is definitely a possibility in this 2023 class, and Tamir Robinson is as well. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania native, does know Donovan Heinisch. Notre Dame recruits the western side of the state of Pennsylvania very, very well. Penn State does as well. Pitt does as well. Those are two schools to know here as well. But Tamir Robinson is a stud, 6'3", 205 as a 16-year-old. That's pretty crazy. We shall see where he ends up. It's very, very early, but I think Notre Dame is near the top. Troy Ford, super early, 4 offers, has been camping a lot down south. I could see him making it up South Bend maybe this fall, but right now, super early on Troy Ford. Don't really have anything for you guys. Let's go to cornerbacks, and this is where it gets exciting. In my humble opinion, I do think corners and safeties, or the DB department, is the department of need for Notre Dame. You need to land some of these high 4-star guys to get to the next level, to compete for a championship. And this is exactly what Brian Kelly needs to do, and he knows very well he needs to do this. A.J. Harris is a guy who I am very high on. I think A.J. Harris will end up a 5-star. Is from Alabama, pretty much the border of Alabama and Georgia. And I also want to note he grew up in Georgia and California primarily. So don't think he's locked to Alabama or Georgia or Clemson, one of these southern schools. Not at all. I think Ohio State and Notre Dame are probably 1 and 2. I do have my pick for Clemson. But 34 offers as a 16-year-old, pretty nuts. A.J. Harris, I think he could take it the distance. But I also think he could commit sooner rather than later. He's a guy who I could see popping this month, or he's a guy I could see popping on National Signing Day or early National Signing Day. But right now, I saw some quotes saying he doesn't want to drag this on. So we shall see. Maybe he commits soon. If he does, I'm not how sure that helps Notre Dame. He did just come off an unofficial visit that he loved. Mike Mickens and company blew him away, but Ohio State's really high up there. That was a dream school of his. Georgia, Bama, Clemson. It's tough. It's really tough for AJ Harris. But if Notre Dame can land him, boy, that's big. I'll go to Caleb Presley. Father is a pastor, by the way, which is pretty interesting. The Pac-12 schools are on him. Alabama as well has gone around the country on a bunch of unofficial visits and camps. I don't know if Notre Dame's getting a visit. If they are, that's definitely good. I think they might be towards the end of June coming up here. But right now, super early in his recruitment, don't really have anything. And same with Christian Gray. Just started landing these offers. I believe he had maybe one offer. Kent State, I believe it was, maybe Toledo or Akron leading in to this month. Camped at Ohio State, ran a blazing 40 time. I believe it was 4.4 something. Got an offer from the Bucks. Went to Notre Dame's Irish Invasion camp, played really well there. Got an offer from Brian Kelly. So Christian Gray, really new prospect, has no clue where he's going. I have no clue where he's going. Long time in his recruitment. Ethan Nation, I believe, is trying to make it up to South Bend sometime this month. It is tricky living down in Georgia, but we shall see. Ethan Nation, super talented. I think he's better than a 5.8 Rivals ranking, which is just outside the top 100. I think he's a top 100 guy. Javon Thomas, unranked. I'm fine with that. I do think he's not a top 100 guy right now, but I could see him moving up the rankings. His father did play linebacker for the Irish back in the day. Is from Texas, but I think he's going to try to get up to South Bend sometime this fall. That would be big time. If he has a good junior year, I could see Notre Dame making him a priority. Right now, I don't think he's one, but that could very well change. Justin Rhett from Bishop Gorman High School, Nico Fertitta, former Notre Dame linebacker, is coaching him down in Bishop Gorman. Super talented kid. I think he's better than a 5.8 rating, just like Nation. And I also think Notre Dame leads here. Absolutely was blown away by Notre Dame's campus when he came to South Bend earlier this month for Notre Dame's Irish Invasion camp. He got the offer he wanted, and that was definitely a positive trip. I expect him to come back out for a visit this fall, and that would be big time. And let's go to the 4 safeties. This board is going to expand. I want to make that very clear. These 4 guys are not the only 4 guys to know. But Jack Luttrell is a guy to know, and is a guy to know for the long term. Luttrell just picked up an A&M offer, which is really big. Notre Dame was his second offer. He's going to land some more, but schools want to see his junior season. He's been going around the country, going on tours, participating in camps. He's trying to land more offers, but right now I do think Notre Dame is in the lead. He's been in some really good contact with Chris O'Leary, Marcus Freeman. I don't think he's talked to Brian Kelly quite yet, but he did make it up for Irish Invasion camp, and he was a guy to know there. Pretty much all the staff knows about him, as he was one of the only guys that was offered that decided to come up in camp. Luttrell is not a top priority at this moment. I could definitely see him becoming one, but they want to see his junior year. He's just a sophomore right now going into his junior season. And with a good junior season, though, I could see him picking up a lot more bigger offers. Maybe Georgia. He's been there once or twice so far this June. That's definitely a dream school of his, but we shall see. Ryan Yates and Peyton Bowen, both from Denton, Texan, Geyer High School. Both these guys went. Both these guys have offers from the Fighting Irish. I don't really know where these guys are going to end up. I don't think they're a package deal. I want to make that clear. Yates has a few better offers than Bowen does at this point, but super early in both their recruitments. Don't worry about my picks or anything like that. We shall see where their recruitments go. And Caleb Downs, final guy, his older brother does play for the Tar Heels of UNC. This dude has all the offers. And I believe he will be getting up to South Bend sometime this month for an unofficial visit. He is a priority target for Marcus Freeman and company. And he's a guy I could really see ending up in South Bend. Very diligent student, really good kid. And Notre Dame has been recruiting the state of Georgia very, very well. So that's the video, guys. I appreciate you watching, and I appreciate you guys showing support. Make sure you like and subscribe for more videos, and that is it from me. Peace.